What up? Crypto Warriors, it's Ultra Crypto back at it again. Today is Saturday, August 1st, 2020. Time flies when you're having fun. Can't believe it's August already. Bitcoin will hit $1 million, says PayPal director. This was said back in like 2018, 2019 or so. However, I wanted to just point out that all the big players are getting into the space, and the narrative around Bitcoin is changing for institutional players and for institutions, period. Let's get into it. Just doing a fundamental analysis, so to speak. Fidelity calls Bitcoin an aspirational store of value and an insurance policy. Bitcoin is an aspirational store of value according to Fidelity Digital Assets. Fidelity Digital Assets, subsidiary of multi-trillion-dollar investment firm Fidelity Investments, view Bitcoin as an aspirational store of value and insurance policy against a troubled financial system, according to a new report. Fidelity holds over $8 trillion in assets. That's assets under management. That's how much Fidelity holds. And its digital asset arm launched in October of 2018. Bitcoin is an aspirational store of value. The narrative is starting to change. Fidelity has been in the game since around 2014. And I'll show you one of these stories later on. The report, Bitcoin Investment Thesis, an aspirational store of value, notes that Bitcoin meets the basic test for being considered a store of value, but that hasn't achieved that status yet. I would argue against that, saying that it has reached that status already, although here in the quote-unquote first world countries, right, we may, because we have the likes of Visa, we have the likes of a good banking system, we don't see the need per se for Bitcoin. But in other countries around the world, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, different African countries, African nations, different nations in South America, in Southeast Asia, Bitcoin is already a store of value and a medium of exchange. Many investors consider Bitcoin to be an aspirational store of value in that it has the properties of a store of value, but has yet to be widely accepted as such. Here, that he's speaking about here in the likes of the United States, Canada, European nations, and big countries like China and Japan and things of that nature. The core component which drive its potential as a store of value lie in the decentralized settlement network and its digitally scarce native asset. Bitcoin's volatility, often used in counter-arguments against Bitcoin being a store of value, can be considered beneficial to adoption as it attracts attention, development, and innovation, the report says. So you got to remember who they're making this report for. Fidelity being an investment firm that manages people's money, manages people's retirement account, manages people's wealth. They're writing this report for those type of people, for your traditional people that may invest in a 401k, Roth IRAs and things of that nature, or just have massive amounts of money that they have a money manager that manages their wealth for them. This is the type of people that they're writing this report for. They're trying to attract more customers for their digital asset arm. They already have it on lock with the traditional, in the traditional market, so to speak, right? Now they're trying to attract more people for the digital asset arm. So they're writing this report for them. The unknown consequences of record low interest rates, unprecedented levels of global monetary and fiscal stimulus, and deglobalization are all adding fuel to the fire of awareness and adoption. John Vincent of Wacom Capital Management made reference to money printing in light of the recent Bitcoin block reward halving. You don't need to be a PhD to understand that the number of dollars just doubled, whereas the Bitcoin supply just halved, he said. And once you explain that to people, right, if they're still skeptical about Bitcoin, like one of my best friends, he's still super skeptical about Bitcoin because in his head, he can't fathom spending, 11,000, well, at the time, $9,000 for Bitcoin, right? And he couldn't say, well, I can't just drop 9,000. I could, I could still mess around in the stock market. Do you, bro? You don't have to explain to me. I already try to explain it to you. You will get it in your own time. When you explain to people that they have the supply, if they still don't get it, they will get it in their own time. Another catalyst for adoption, the report notes, is the transfer of wealth from the older generation to a younger demographic as younger people view Bitcoin more favorably. And that's another thing you gotta think about. People are inheriting their parents' wealth. People leaving money for them. They're going to take that inheritance and put it right into Bitcoin, put it right into crypto because they get it. Younger people tend to understand a digital form of digital money. They understand digital scarcity and things of that nature. Next. Oh, well, this is the report right here. I'll link it in the description below. It's a 19-page report. You can come check it out yourself. As always, DYOR. This is coming from Twitter. Plan B at 1 trillion USD. Still hoping to buy the dip at 6,000? Don't hold your breath. 200 weekly moving average just passed $6,000. Bitcoin never ever dipped below 200 weekly moving average. 200 weekly moving average never decreased. 200 WMA is increasing with $200 every month. And here it is, the chart with the 200 weekly moving average, and it just passed 6K. Think about that. For all those people that are still saying that it could drop below 6K to a 3K Bitcoin and a 1K Bitcoin, I jokingly said on Twitter that, I have my buy order set at 1K on Gemini. No, I moved my buy order up accordingly with the price fluctuation. As the price moves up, I move my buy order up, and I still have a buy order set at about 6,500 right now. So yeah, if you think you're getting Bitcoin at below 6K again, that boat has already sailed. Barring an incident like what happened in March, I don't think it'll happen. Next, this is coming out of Bitcoin.com. Fidelity, back to Fidelity again, acquires 10% stake in Bitcoin mining firm Hut 8. The giant fund manager Fidelity International holds roughly 10.6% stake in Bitcoin mining company Hut 8. For 6 years now, Fidelity, the firm that currently manages $8 trillion on behalf of its customers, has been mining the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. In May 2017, news.bitcoin.com reported on Fidelity integrating with Coinbase, mining Bitcoin, and even accepting the digital asset at the firm's cafeteria at its headquarters. Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin since 2014, and over the years, the firm has increased its stake in this growing industry. Think about that, people. Forget this part right here that they own 10% stake or an almost 11% stake in a mining company. The fact that they've been mining Bitcoin since 2014 in their offices, that's got to let you know where this market is heading, where big money managers see Bitcoin going. Although we still have a lot of naysayers and people still just don't get it, thinking that they have to buy a whole Bitcoin, which is asinine. Like it drives me bonkers. You could buy fractional shares now on Robinhood. You could buy fractional shares on all these different apps. When it comes to this regular stock market, but people still, and I'm talking about people that I personally know here, they still don't get that you could buy fractional pieces of Bitcoin, that you don't have to purchase a whole Bitcoin all at once. If you had the money, then go for it. Not financial advice, of course. However, you still could purchase $1 worth of Bitcoin using the Cash App. Like, give me a break. But I digress. When I tell people that Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin since 2014, they either say, "Oh, that's because they got into it early." They themselves are too late right now because they've been mining it for 6 years already. So, but I'm like, yo, think about that. All this time, people have been spreading FUD about Bitcoin all those years, but Fidelity have been mining something that was fake internet money, right? Since 2014. And people still can't grasp that. Like I said, in due time, they will understand what Bitcoin is. You could bring the horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink. On June 10th, a newly filed alternative monthly reporting AMR disclosure with the Ontario Securities Commission OSC shows that Fidelity owns around 10.6 stake in mining firm Hut 8. Fidelity holds over 8 million common shares and 2 million common shares purchase warrants, as a result of which Fidelity is deemed to hold over 10 million common shares, representing approximately 10.6 outstanding shares, yada yada yada. A big firm like Fidelity, people, when you mention Fidelity, people knows what you're speaking of, know who you're talking about. They see the commercials. They themselves may have a retirement account with Fidelity, or have had one in the past, or have had it mentioned to them through their company's IRA or HR office or whatever the case is, and they know what Fidelity is. And when I've mentioned it in the past that Fidelity has been into Bitcoin since 2014, they're the one telling me I'm lying or that I'm making it up or whatever the case is, and I showed them the story and they still just don't get it. Bitcoin was first introduced to me back in 2010. I didn't get it back then. It took another 7 years before I got it. So, like I said, people will come around and they will understand in due time. Next, speaking about people coming around, Visa reveals plan to offer Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple payments. Payment giant Visa made public its efforts to incorporate cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin into its payment network. With access to over 61 million merchants globally, Visa is one of the largest payment companies to create a roadmap for adopting cryptocurrencies on its platform. The reason why they're doing this is because they know if they don't adapt to the coming changes, adapt to cryptocurrencies, starting to integrate cryptocurrencies, they'll be left in the wind and they'll become like the dinosaurs and go extinct. So this is why they're being so friendly to crypto right now. In its publication, Visa acknowledges that the advent of Bitcoin stablecoins such as Tether are a form of financial innovation that has brought benefits to consumers and merchants. In that sense, they highlight the rapid expansion of that cryptocurrencies have reached as a payment method. In May of this year, circulation of cryptocurrencies reached $10 billion. They're paying attention. They're seeing the adoption. All right, they're seeing the adoption. The payment company said it has been working with regulated entities, including Coinbase and Fold, to create a bridge between digital currencies and its payment network. As a result, 25 crypto wallets are linked to the services offered by Visa. This way, users of these services can use their funds in cryptocurrencies to spend them with Visa cards or a prepaid credential. Visa is working with regulators to promote adoption of cryptocurrencies. One of the relevant obstacles in Visa's roadmap is the position of politicians, regulators, and other government entities with the argument of protecting consumer and preventing money laundering. Governments like the United States exercise harsh policies towards Bitcoin and the crypto market. And the only reason why they have such harsh policies is because it's competition. They're trying to change, or they've already changed the narrative for what Bitcoin's sole purpose was, which was a medium of exchange, a form of digital cash. It says it right there in the white paper. Read it. It's just a quick 9 pages. A form of digital cash. And the regulators are trying to change it into something like a commodity, a store of wealth, yada yada. Okay, fine. And that's so that they can have control over it, because they know if it's a form of digital cash, it will surpass the US dollar. All right? And the US dollar will go extinct, just like the dodo bird. Let's talk about this in the comment section below. Do you think that's the reason why they've changed the narrative so much about Bitcoin? Because they know that they can try to control it as either a security or a commodity or something to that effect? Or is it because that's what it is? That's exactly what it is. They change it because Bitcoin is competition for the US dollar. And we're starting to see now Visa getting into the play, MasterCard starting to get into the mix and starting to adopt cryptocurrencies and partner up with crypto companies so that way they can still stay relevant moving forward, in this decade of the CBDCs, in this decade of cryptocurrencies. Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Smash that like, hit that subscribe button. It's Sergeant Crypto, and I'm out. Peace.